Well, this interview process though.
Don't play me, pay me. Cut the tech.
What up, Cut the Tech family? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host. I am your guide. I am your boy, Dre. My wife, my mother, my grandmother, they all call me Andre, but y'all can call me Dre. So if y'all know how we do say it with me, don't call me Andre. If you like the information, you can like it, you can comment on it, you can subscribe and hit that notification bell, or don't. You're grown. Do what you want to do. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back to the journey. For those that are new, this is Cut the Tech. It is a step-by-step journey with me going from where I was before I decided to get into the tech industry and going through and documenting my journey each step of the way into the tech industry. So where we had left off last, I had just graduated CourseCareers gang, what's happening? Yo, and so it was time for us to just go into work mode now. Now it's time to get busy, time to get to the money, right? It's the interview process. The way that CourseCareers works, once you graduate, it has changed a little bit. It used to be set up that once you graduated, they have companies that they partner with. They'd have a list of them. They pop them up for you. They say, hey, these are the companies that we partner with. They're looking for people like you. You can reach out to them. That got to be a little bit complicated because they were getting so many people graduating within a short period of time. So what they did was they changed it a little bit. Rather than you reaching out to the companies, now the companies can go to your profile on CourseCareers and then reach out to you. But me, I'm not somebody that's gonna sit around and wait for all that. First thing I did though, I wanted to go in and I wanted to make sure my LinkedIn was updated, correct, and as professional as possible. And I was changing things here, adding a little bit to the bio here, working on my banner. I redid my entire banner. I actually hit up my homeboy, hit up my brother D, told him, hey, I need some professional pictures. I even added in my Cut the Tech on my LinkedIn because I'm a professional. Right? I think when I do this, I don't do this just for fun. It is for fun. Let's be honest. I love doing this, but I consider myself to be a content creator. And so I added that to my LinkedIn because it adds a little bit of personality to what I do on there. If you're on LinkedIn, you know, if you go and search for whatever jobs it is you're looking for, you can have it set up to where they send you alerts, you know, every time those jobs pop up. So every single day I'm getting jobs for SDRs, BDRs just popping up. And it's like they're screaming at me, Trey, come apply. So my mind frame was this: it's a numbers game. Shooters miss 100% of the shots that they don't take. So I figure even if I'm not as efficient, I can shoot 100 shots and I'm still gonna hit something. Right? So my goal was to put up 100 applications as fast as possible. Within my first couple of days, I think I put in like 25 different applications. I was just on a roll. Now, in order to keep track of that, one of my friends told me about a site called Hunter, HUNTR.io, which helps you keep track of that. You can put in the companies that you're reaching out to and where you are in the interview process, and just kind of keep things organized for you. As I'm applying to these jobs, one thing I wanted to do to kind of stand out was I wanted to make sure that I read whatever the description was, and I wanted to tailor fit my resume to fit that job. And so that could be a daunting task, right? Reading all these things and going through it. But I found a couple of workarounds. First of all, have y'all ever heard of ChatGPT? Listen, if you haven't, do your Googles. But I'm just gonna say that mug has been key, clutch in helping me to put together a new personalized resume every time I send out, put in for another job. But once I personalize the resume and personalize the cover letters, you know, and I'm applying to these jobs, I'm going to work to do the job of an SDR. So I'm researching who's the company that I want to work for, right? I'm going into it thinking, all right, if I'm a salesman and I'm the product that I'm selling, then who is my ideal customer profile? Right? Who are these companies that I would like to work at? And so I read through, find out the information about them, and then I'm going into LinkedIn or use other tools that they taught me how to do at CourseCareers, and I'm finding my buying persona. You know, who's the manager? Who's the VP of sales? Who's the director? Who's the person who would have some say in whether or not I'm getting looked at, and just doing some personalized, reaching out to them through LinkedIn or email or whatever it is I could possibly get my hands on, because I want to set myself apart from everybody else. Listen, it's 200 people applying for these jobs within 20 minutes that they put them up. So what can you do to differentiate yourself from everybody else? So I'm applying the jobs, and I'm just putting in the work. And now my mind frame going into this is, look, you're going to get a lot of rejection emails coming back and saying, unfortunately, we did not choose to go with you. That's okay. Understand that. You don't need everybody to say yes. You just need one person to say yes. And so, as the emails start coming in, I won't lie, I'm human, right? I understand rejection is a real thing, but I'm learning not to personalize it. But I can't sit here in front and say that I saw, unfortunately, a part of me doesn't be like, dang, right? But it's okay. Look, man, there's a million jobs out here, and you just want the one where God has you to be at. So I'm applying. I'm putting in 6 to 8, maybe sometimes 10 applications a day. And then one day I get a DM, and it's a recruiter. She reaches out to me. She says, personalizes, hey, Andre, I found this. This is who I work for. This is what we're looking for. You look like a really good candidate. I would love to set up a time to do a Zoom call with you, to kind of do like a preliminary type of interview. And so once I got that first interview set up, I started going over different interview questions. Now, CourseCareers has an entire section where they go over interview questions, as I told you that last time. So I just start going over that over and over and over again. I'm a volume learner. I'm not a learner. I don't learn best by reading. I learn by hearing, seeing, watching, and then hearing it over and over and over, repetition. So I start going everywhere to find, interview questions. CourseCareers, YouTube, man, my YouTube algorithms is full of interview questions right now. Also LinkedIn, when you're following certain people, they're putting out information. And one day I'm on LinkedIn, and someone that I follow puts up a company research PDF. And what it is, it's just a bunch of different questions for you to kind of answer, to prepare before you go into an interview. So I ask you things like, who's the CEO? When's the last time they got some funding? Just different general questions about the company, so that you can set yourself apart when you do sit in front of somebody and talk to them and do an interview. So if I can give you any keys going into this, do your research. I give you 5 keys to doing a good interview. And that is this: research, 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 research. Get to know the company that you're interviewing with. Get to know the person you're going to be interviewing with as much as you possibly can before you actually interview with them, because you come in there prepared. So that's what I did. I did research. I went digging. I did my Googles to find everything I could possibly find about this company. But not just that, I also did the same thing with the interviewer. So she reached out to me on LinkedIn. I went to scoping everything I could possibly find about her on LinkedIn. So I came up with all kind of different personal questions I could ask her once we got into the interview. So my mind frame going into the interview is this: I'm not nervous. I'm not the person who's like, hey, I need this job. Listen, this is a conversation, right? I look at this like a date, like a first date. Because at the end of the day, a job offer is going to be coming to me if they like me, right? So not only are they interviewing me, I'm interviewing them, because at the end of the day, I'm the last person with leverage. If they like me and they send me a job offer, then I have the last say in whether or not I work for them. So as I'm getting ready for my interview, I'm studying. I'm listening to all these different YouTube videos, like I said, and just understanding that there are 3 different parts of an interview when we go into it. The first part is them getting to know you. It's when they ask you the question like, tell me a little bit about yourself. The middle part of the interview is them kind of weeding out and seeing if you're a good fit, what personality traits you have, what characteristics you have that might make you a good candidate. And they're asking you those questions such as,
well, tell me a time that this happened. How do you deal with rejection?
And so the last part of the interview is when they ask you the question, hey, do you have any questions for us? And this is where most people lose the interview, right? Because, they get to the end, they've gone through all the questions, they were nervous, they answered the questions as best they can. And when they said, do you have any questions for us? They say, no. Look, man, that makes you look desperate. So what you want to do at the end is you want to have some really, really, really good questions that you can ask them that makes them step back and say, that's interesting. This person's really engaged. They're set apart. They did their research. They know some things about us. I think I might want to be able to take a risk on them. And here's the whole point of the interview. They're trying to see if they like you, right? There are 200,000 people that apply to this job, right? And let's just say me and you both have the exact same things on our resume. So we go in there and when we do the interview, we answer the questions with the exact same words. Who are they going to choose? They're going to choose the one that they like. So you got to have some personality when you go in here. So remember, it's a conversation. You've got just as much leverage as they do. They need you just as much as you need them. They're going to ask some questions. You need to have some questions to ask. So how did the interview go? So I sit down for the interview, and the young lady who's interviewing me, she was had a super dope personality from the jump, big bright smile. She was, just exciting energy when we first sat down. And so as we started to get into the interview, she said, hey, what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain to you what the job is, explain to you who we are as a company. And then from there, I get into some questions about you. Great. So as she started to go into the things about the company and, this and all this different stuff, what the job is, mind you, I knew all this stuff already. Why? Because I did my research. So as she's going through and she's telling me this, I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, okay, I know that. And I'm just stringing together questions that I can ask her based off of what she's giving me, right? And so because I did some research on her and knew, what she had done in her last couple of jobs and stuff like that, I was able to just keep asking her questions. So when she got done explaining what the job was, I just asked her a simple question. Hey, I understand that you did this in your past. It looks like you said you went from this job to this job, and then now you've got this job that you have here. Like, explain to me how you transitioned through all those. So she starts to tell me, about her different jobs that she was at, how she got to where she is, and she just started to personalize her story. And so as she's personalizing her story, I'm picking up cues like there's some similarities here between her story and my story. As she finished, I just said, hey, I do see some similarities here. And then I just started to answer the tell me about yourself question without her having to ask me. Right. So I told her a little bit about myself, tied it in with how her story went. And so I'm building rapport as I'm answering her questions. And so as I'm answering her question, she's so caught up in just listening to me talk that she said, oh, wait, stop. Let me take some notes until she's getting excited. And so the interview was going extremely well. And so the only question that she asked me directly was, tell me about a time that you dealt with rejection. And so I told her, look, I've been in sales for a long time. Very first job I had, I got rejected a lot. I didn't know anything about sales, but I learned a lot along the way that it wasn't about trying to make somebody buy something. Sales is about finding a problem for somebody else and then offering them a solution that works for them, that they're willing to pay for. As we finished that up, I knocked that out the park. She was super excited about it. And then there was a couple more questions that I had formulated in doing my research. And I asked her, I said, hey, you're a recruiter. I understand the way that you get paid, is to bring in talent, and not just talent, but talent that comes in and performs. Just say a year from now, the owner of the company comes to you and he comes to me and he says, hey, you guys have been killing it because of your work that you guys have done. You're going to go on the company trip or whatever. I said, what work would we have had to have done to get to that point? And then she kind of told me, what we need to do, how we need to perform. And what did that do? It set me apart from whoever was asking these questions, because it lets her know that I'm thinking about working together as a team. It lets her know that I've got a vision, and I'm willing to put in whatever work is going to take to be able to get there. And then I asked her a personalized question, to kind of play off the fact that I've been gaining rapport. I said, and if that happens, what kind of drink are we going to have to celebrate? Right before we got off, she said, you got any more questions for me? And I said, yeah. I said, what's the next step of the process? So she told me the next step is, the second interview. She'll be linking me up with the person who's going to do that in a couple of days. And then I asked this key question, and y'all write this down. I said, do you have any hesitancy in me moving on to the next round? And when I said that, she had a big smile on her face and she started to clap. She said, oh my God, I'm so glad that you answered that question the way you asked that question the way that you did, because you went for the close. That's what salespeople do. You tried to close the deal at the end. She said, oh my God, you just got extra points for that. Right? I want to give a big shout out to CourseCareers, because they literally taught us to answer that question at the end of every single interview. It works. She also told me, she said, look, I'm super excited. I think you're going to kill this. She said, if you don't hear from me in 2 days, I want you to bombard my LinkedIn DMs until you get an answer. The next day, she connected me with the hiring manager. They gave me a homework assignment. So the next interview that I have to sell them or pitch them on the product. But here's the thing about it. They gave me the script. They told me, this is the script. This is what we're going to go over. You're going to go back and forth with me. I need you to answer these questions in this way. And so it's pretty simple. I'm super excited about that opportunity. The company seems super dope. I've reached out to a couple of people on LinkedIn that work there and just kind of, asked around, how do you like working there? Just asking different questions and stuff like that. I want to get the real. But it seems like it's a great company to work at. It's in a field that I have some expertise in, or some experience in. I won't say expertise. I was far from an expert, but I did have some experience in that particular field and working with the type of clients that they're looking for. So it would be a good fit. So who knows? That may be the place God wants me to be. It may not be, but we're going to keep on doing what we're doing. We're going to keep interviewing. We're going to keep the sales funnel full, right? We want to keep a lot of people coming in, because it's just like doing the job. The more clients you have in the sales funnel, the more likely you are to make sales. And so the interview process is practice for the actual job. CourseCareers has really, really, really helped me in this journey, and I'm super excited. I'm seeing how that investment is setting me apart and put me in a position to be able to make these moves for the family. So what are we going to do when we transition into tech? We're going to research. We're going to research. We're going to research. We're going to make sure that we come in prepared. We bring something to the table, because as they send us job offers, we're going to look at them and we're going to say, look, don't play me, pay me, cut the tech. You heard?
Don't play me, pay me, cut the tech.